Alright, everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. It is scoring the players' time as Newcastle have just drew with Crystal Palace 0-0 at St James's Park on a good old Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. I'm here with Fordy. I'm here with Mr. Lee Lawler, here to score the players. Get your comments and get your scores in. We'll get all the best ones out whilst this video is happening. But Fordy, I'm going to let you start with Nick Pope, who was in the middle of our goal. Made a couple of important saves, one really important one towards the end, and he got a massive round of applause in the Gallagher. What was it like in Shearer's bar?
Yeah, it was good. Good atmosphere. Nick Pope, yeah, as you said, in the middle of the goal. I think he made two important saves, right? One save he just palmed out and not much to do, and then obviously the save that you mentioned just earlier, just there. So again, he didn't have much to do. Again, just impressive with what he does. You can always be calm when you've got him in the middle of the goal. So again, for me, I'd say a solid let's say 8.
8 out of 10
just to get us started.
Yeah. I thought Nick Pope was fine. Again, I think one of the bigger advantages, which we're talked about between him and Dubravka, is the fact that he really does have a presence when it comes out for corners, crosses, load of punches, and it actually, on balance, you'd have to say it was a really, really good deal that Newcastle have done. So 8 out of 10 for Nick Pope. If you agree, let us know in the comments as well. Andrew's here. He's in the comments as well. He says, loves the new office after the game, lads, even though he spelled the wrong. I don't know how you've managed that.
He's a live lad. It's easy done.
Anything can happen live, believe you me. Moving on to left back, Lee, Matt Target, Steady Eddie. He got taken off. I'm not even going to go there with you a day like 40. But Mr. Consistent was very consistent once again. It was a good battle down that right-hand side. Jordan Ayew was causing Newcastle some issues, trying to get more of the likes of your Elises, your Ezes into the game more often. But I thought Matt Target was absolutely fine this afternoon. Do you agree?
Yeah, great signing. Yeah, come back into the side. You know, the last couple of games, I think he did a good job on Mo Salah midweek as well. So yeah, left back is back now. He'll be starting games regularly going forward now, and it gives the option of, you know, you can move Dan Burn across, or the B-Tech Paul Dummett, the real Paul Dummett.
Justice for Paul Dummett.
Off the bench. But yeah, I think he handled, as I say, Ayew pretty well. Palace didn't really threaten, I don't feel, because they're pretty strong out wide. So you're rating for Matty Target, I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10. I think it was Steady Eddie. I think it was sound. I don't think anyone's going to disagree on that.
No, he was a Steady Eddie.
40 when I say that.
Nah, 40 just likes the controversy. He likes the, he watches Love Island and stuff like that. He just loves that sort of stuff. Likes a bit of gossip and a bit of drama. But yeah, probably a fair mark in terms of Matt Target, 7 out of 10. Just to the right of him, but our left centre half was Sven Botman, who came back in. Him and Schar came back in, of course, for Jamal Lascelles and Dan Burn following that defeat at Anfield on Wednesday. Botman, I'll have Botman. I thought he was fine. Obviously, he had a lot of the ball. He has got a ping on him with his left foot, mate. I have to be honest. I do like that diagonal ball. I know we've seen Schar do that over the years on the right-hand side of the centre half, but I thought he was comfortable. I don't think Mateta had much joy out of the pair of them today, out of Schar or Botman. It's a clean sheet. Again, comfortable enough. I'll stick with the 7 out of 10 for Sven Botman. 40, right-hand side centre half was Fabian Schar. He came back in, as we've mentioned. Do you kind of go along the same lines as Sven Botman?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if you're giving him 7, then it's rightly so. I'll give him a 7 as well. Like, didn't put a foot wrong in terms of, like, obviously the game. Another clean sheet. Another? Yeah, clean sheet. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, didn't have much to do. Fabian Schar alongside his new partner. I still feel justice for Dan Burn. I'm not gonna lie. Dan Burn should be playing alongside Fabian Schar. I know you love Sven Botman and he should be playing because we spent some money on him, but you know what? No, he didn't put a foot wrong, but I still think Dan Burn should be starting alongside Schar. That's just my honest opinion.
I'm glad you're giving us honest opinions, Fordy. I really do appreciate it.
You love it, man. You love it. I don't want to sit on the fence, do you?
No, definitely not. You don't want to sit on that fence. But no, it's a good debate. Again, get in your comments. Who do you agree? Who do you think should be the two main centre halves? Do you think it should be Botman, Schar, Burn, Schar? It's Burn, Botman. We haven't seen that yet. Probably too similar, I suppose.
The luxury, right? We've got the luxury of, you know, these 4 centre halves. We've not had that luxury for a very long while in terms of like pairings that we can go with that are all suitable. We can do a suitable job, right? So again, it's just a luxury.
Yeah, we don't get that many often. We don't have that luxury a lot, let's be honest. Let's move on to our right back here in Trippier, our number one right back. We can all agree, especially with Emil Kraft's injury. It looks like he's going to be out probably for the rest of the season. If he does come back, it might be maybe the back end of May, which is obviously a real disappointment for himself and Eddie Howe. I think, again, he was comfortable. I think we have to go along with the defence. Were pretty comfortable afternoon. Crystal Palace didn't really create a lot going forward. I think that actually had one more shot on target, but I think 3 or 4 of the shots, Nick Pope, it was right down his throat. You kind of expect him to save it. But in terms of Trippier, what do you make of the Trippier-Almiron partnership? Because we'll obviously touch more about Miggy's performance, but do you think that Trippier being there improves Miggy? Or do you feel that Trippier needs somebody a little bit better on that right-hand side? Maybe an ASM potentially if he comes back next week.
I think both of them helped each other out defensively because Zaha didn't get a kick today. It wasn't that long ago that we played Palace, because remember, obviously, Miggy scored that. Was that against Palace when that side volley over the top? That doesn't seem that long ago.
I know, right?
So that only was like March or April, and Zaha was obviously wound up just before that goal. If you remember, it was a throw-in. And Zaha didn't have a great game there, so he seems to struggle at St. James's Park, and may long that continue. So I think Trippier handled him really well because Zaha started the season in blistering form, let's not forget. So that alone defensively was outstanding. A couple of times he went up for free kicks, thinking, oh, here we can, Trippier out of the well. Sadly, that didn't happen. I thought his free kicks weren't great, especially around the edge of the D-box, as Steve might say. But the partnership with Miggy, I think it's grown. I think it's given Miggy a bit more confidence. He doesn't have a dodgy right back behind him. Now he's got like a proper England right back. He can go and be a bit more creative, go and play. And you've seen it in the midweek when he done Andy Robertson. And I generally think that Miggy, I know you've touched on it, but I think Miggy was one of the better performers today. But Trippier, I'm torn between a 7 and an 8. Come on, decide it for us then. 40.
7.5.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking between the 7 and 8, it's got to be 7.5. But again, like you said, he adds that bit of extra depth that we need going forward. Obviously, when you've got him over free kick, you're thinking, yes, this is a chance, and he didn't deliver this time round, unfortunately. But yeah, solid performance and a good leadership skills. Like there's certain things in and around like the VAR decision, which obviously we'll get onto probably in a bit. But I just saw him pushing away Joelinton because otherwise, you know what Joelinton's like. He's a bit of a hothead. Just that bit of leadership skills, that bit of experience on the pitch it just shows that how far we've come in a short space of time.
Yeah, I'll be influenced then. Say 7.5, Johnny.
Yeah, 7.5. I think it's fair. Let's be honest. I think the back four were comfortable, and that is probably in Eddie Howe's eyes. I know you disagree, Foddy. That's probably his strongest back four in his opinion, and that's probably what we're seeing a little bit more often over the last 6 or 7 games since the start of the season. So it is interesting. Get in the comments, what is your particular back four? I actually think that's the back four that is the strongest in Newcastle. But if you disagree, put us in the comments below. Let's move into the midfield. I've got who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick Joe Willock, who was in the wars today. He was in the wars. Obviously, that VAR goal that wasn't given. I'm getting a lot of people in the comments going, there's been a robbery. There has been a robbery. But Joe Willock looks to have been flattened and, takes one for the team, essentially. You're thinking, there's going to be a goal from it because obviously it hits off Mitchell and goes in the back of the net. But it doesn't happen for him or for Newcastle United. But I thought he was fine. I
missed a couple of chances, though.
Yeah, I have to be honest, Isak, which we'll mention, made a lovely ball in the second half, and he takes a lovely touch and hits with his left foot. It's probably the only save Guaita properly makes.
There was another one, though, when I think it was a set piece. It might be in a corner, and it's felt him, and he's...
Oh, is it the one just in the second half? You feel like he's like 5 yards out?
Yeah. And again, like the guy who was sat next to me, he started celebrating because he thought it hit the back of the net even before he actually seen the screen. And then it went wide. It didn't hit the post. It didn't obviously go in the back of the net. It went wide. So I'm just like, I don't know. We just got to remember those sort of chances there. Those are golden opportunities that we've missed, and they both fell to Willock, funny enough. So again, just throwing that little bit in there, just in terms of that before you make your decision.
No, I think, to be honest with you, I do like Willock. I know there's some fans that are still a bit on the fence with him, but I think he does give Newcastle a different dimension. Look, I don't think that three that play today is Newcastle's strongest midfield three, and I don't think it's the perfect combination between the three of them. They're all very, very different between the three midfielders that Newcastle have got. So on today's performance, I think Willock was fine. again, probably could have scored today, but you got to look at it 0-0 against Palace. I'm going to go 6.5 for Joe Willock. I didn't think the midfield was the strongest today for Newcastle, so I'm going to go 6.5 Willock. Again, could have had 2 on the score sheet, which shows how bit unfortunate he is. Fordy, I'll let you talk about Joelinton today.
Okay.
Because
he's giving me him.
No, the reason why I'm giving you Joelinton 40 is because there was obviously a lot of talk on Wednesday evening about his performance, and Liverpool were very, very obsessed with how his time wasting antics. But I thought today, I wouldn't say Crystal Palace done a job on Joelinton, but I don't think Joelinton had it as easy as he normally has done at St James's Park. I thought Ayew and Schlupp, I think we're just bothering him a little bit today.
Yeah, they might have bothered him, but I still think he had a good performance. I think he's the better out of the 3, and that's easy decision. I like this part of the game that he's developed, this shithousery, that he's developed in terms of he just reminds you of like a Brazilian Joey Barton. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in terms of that fucking shithousery that he's
the rest of the Premier League are beginning to hate him, but we love him.
That's it. That is it. Like Brazilian Joey Barton. Hopefully he doesn't add too much of Joey Barton's game to his game. But, I think he's great on the ball in terms of like, if he can do it short and sharp to the point, great. But if he's got too much time on the ball, that's when he doesn't make the right decisions. There's certain times when I was in the bar, I'm like, should have just made that correct decision. But again, if he's got to make something short and sharp, cool, that's fantastic. And then going forward, I love it when he's galloping forward, but he just needs to make that correct decision. Missed his partner in crime in Bruno, which evidently we all did today. But I think he was the better out of 3. So again, I'll probably give him a 7.5, probably 7.5, because he's definitely the better out of 3.
Yeah, I agree, Lee. I think Joelinton was the strongest for Newcastle today in that midfield. I just think that midfield found it difficult at times this afternoon against Crystal Palace. The other midfielder in that trio was Sean Longstaff.
Jesus. Painful.
Look, I think.
No, it's painful.
I don't think the yellow card in the first 10 minutes helped him, but. Was he that poor a day? Was he that?
Listen, I'm going to jump in before Lee goes. Hold on. He's getting away with that Geordie tax. I'm sorry. Because he's one of our
Geordie tax.
That is that Geordie
tax.
That
thing now, is it?
Yeah, it's a Geordie tax. It's a Geordie tax.
Paul Douglas got one.
Is it not a bit, 40s before I let you carry on? Is it not a bit unfair to single
not,
amount?
Man. Listen, you've got a perfectly good Elliot Anderson on the bench there. And to be honest, his 20 minutes was better than Longstaff's whole game, right? Longstaff played the whole game. Am I right in saying that? I don't know, because I was just baffled by him anyway. But I'm sorry, he had a shocker. Gave the ball too easily. Didn't offer really anything going forward. And yeah, he's just playing because of playing's sake. Chuck in Elliot Anderson. If Elliot Anderson is stuck with us for the whole season,
who plays in the Joelinton position? The Joelinton position, the Sean Longstaff position today as the 6. You can't play Elliot Anderson as a 6.
Switch it around. Look, if we're talking about our best 3 midfielders while Bruno's out as a team.
No, I'm talking about today. Look at the options that Newcastle had today.
That's what I'm saying. We'll take Longstaff out.
Well, who do you put in then?
Anderson.
You can't play Anderson as a 6.
Why not?
You can't play Elliot Anderson as number 6. He's a number 8 or a number 10.
If we're going to play a 3 in the midfield and then we're playing our best 3,
get your popcorn.
We're not playing Longstaff. I'm sorry. People in the comment section below, he did not offer anything.
I'm asking you. Asking you the question. Who do you play? Who do you play in as a number 6 instead of Sean Longstaff today?
If you want to move Joelinton back, then move Joelinton back. Or if you want to move Willock back, I don't care. If you don't have to play, listen. This is going back to what we said earlier. You don't have to always stick to the same tactics. Okay, we get it. We play a 6 and then we play 2 further forward. Fuck it. If we don't have to, we don't have to. You play your best 3 midfielders. Joelinton's one of them. Yes. Then you play Willock, okay, he's one of them. And then Longstaff for me isn't. Longstaff is just in the team because he's Geordie tax. Play Elliot Anderson. Everyone wants him to play. He brought something to the game when he came on, and Longstaff brought nothing for the whole game. That's it.
Different jobs. I
don't care if it's different jobs, whatever. Listen, I want to win the game. Elliot Anderson looked like he wanted to win the game. Longstaff didn't look like he wanted to win the game. Play sideways football, crab football. I don't care. Boring. Sorry, I took the whole thing off from you, Lee. But again, it was just boring. Off to you, Lee.
What was it? Sean Longstaff. I just totally.
Johnny's trying to disagree with me again, but again, I'm right all the time. People need to realise that I'm right all the time.
Look, I think I don't think it's his worst performance. I agree with Johnny.
Yeah.
I think
Not his worst, but
I think what he has worked on is his presence a lot better. If you're probably off the field, stuff, you don't really notice it when we don't have the ball. So what his high pressing is much more improved. Because he looks knackered. He looks absolutely run down every time he plays.
Longstaff?
Yeah, he
How could he be knackered after playing one game?
Because when he plays, like the midweek he did, his high pressing has improved.
Jesus.
Imagine
if he was an actual regular starter then.
On the ball, he can be a little bit lazy where his passes aren't always on target to the man to move sideways or to throw ball. I don't think he's 3s, 4s, 5s today. I think he's probably marginally just a little bit worse than Joe Willock. I don't think he's like
marginally.
Yeah, I don't think he's like you've got to point.
What view did you have in the game?
I don't think you've got to point the finger and say you were absolutely disgraced today.
No, he's not disgraced.
The thing is, I think
I'll give him a rating before I let you continue. I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What?
I think that's fair.
So you gave him the same level as Willock. Are you high?
Marginally lower, but I didn't rate Willock.
Willock got 6.5.
Right, I didn't rate Willock.
You two are high.
No, you got to. I think what you've got to put into perspective is that at the minute, I think there's actually a really, really good comment. I think I'm just trying to find the comment. You can't if you played. Yeah, it's from Tony. If you played Joelinton in the 6, he can't go and get himself about like he does. He needs to be disciplined.
Get out of the rigidness of playing a 6. Just play your best 3, and the best 3. Joelinton, hands down.
Let's play 3-8.
I don't care. It would have helped. This is what we talked about earlier, Johnny. You're talking about, we have to stick to the same formation. We're robots. No. If it means coming out of the same formation.
Newcastle, and then he got high.
Listen, you're high. You're high. If you think Longstaff gets a 6.5, the same as Willock, you are high.
I don't think both of them had a great game, but I don't think any of them.
No, Willock didn't have a great game, but he was better than Longstaff. So I would have gave Longstaff.
Marginally, but I wouldn't have given Willock a 6.
I would have gave Longstaff a 6. There's that 0.5 makes a difference because at least then it's logical in my head.
This is why we have a fantastic debate on this.
But the problem, I do disagree with the criticism that Longstaff, a lot of criticism that Longstaff gets. Look, he does make mistakes. I think again,
he comes straight out of that side as soon as the other.
Of course he does, and I think he knows that. And the thing is, that Bruno is such a good player. And then you look at the other options, which is no one touches him. That's how good Bruno Guimaraes is. So it is difficult to talk about it in the same sort of context. But look, it's a good debate. Tell us how well or how poor, and your opinions in the comments of how Sean Longstaff played and whether he will start next week if Bruno is available. I don't think he will. But let's move on to the forward 3. I'm going to start with Ryan Fraser today. I thought he was quiet. He won a couple of free kicks, but didn't really do a lot, in my opinion. Really didn't do a lot. I thought
first 20 minutes he was busy, wasn't he?
He was busy, but he wasn't.
Is he doing what though? Is he watching the game? Like he had the best seat in the house. Yeah, you talk about.
Could have joined you in the Shearer's bar.
That's what you probably could have. He was busy for
6 hours. Right?
Yeah, I would have got him the booster seat. Like that's, do you know what I'm saying? Like what is he busy doing? What he just runs around. And again, we had the same on the other half. I hope I get me because boy, I'm gonna tear him a new one as well. But Ryan Fraser, like, what does he offer?
The problem, I think the one thing I would say today is I didn't see anything positive. Like with Fraser, you can sometimes get positive moments out of him, and I just didn't see him. Just didn't get that. Maybe the fact he played 2 games in 4 days. He's obviously he hasn't really played a lot of football in pre-season.
He should be relishing this, right? He should be relishing playing 2 games in 4 days.
No, I think he should. No,
if Ayeson's there, even if Ayeson's got one leg, he's starting.
No, I get that.
He's lucky. He's
lucky.
Let me finish. He's lucky that Eddie Howe is the manager and he knows him from before.
It's not the Clinton Ford show. Let me finish. So literally, it shouldn't.
In the comment section, should it be the Clinton Ford show?
But the one thing I will say with Fraser, I thought he had a better game against Liverpool. He should have scored. It was literally at the Anfield Road end, which I was sitting at on Wednesday. He should have scored and should have put Newcastle ahead before Isak did. I just think I trust Fraser. I just think it was just a quiet game from today. I don't think he comes straight back in if ASM comes in, obviously, but I think he's a better option 20 minutes from the end than a Jacob Murphy is, for example, which we'll talk about later on. But yeah, a quiet game from Ryan Fraser. I'm going to go 5 out of 10 from him. I just didn't offer anything today.
Jeez.
40 Miguel Almiron.
You thought I was.
I know 5 out of 10. You know.
Yeah, Miguel Almiron 40 hit the post.
No.
Had moments, had little sparks, but needs a right foot and needs a right foot quickly.
You hit the nail on the head. Finally, we're on the same wavelength. You know,
I know.
Finally, I know it's crazy, right? Listen,
honestly, you should listen to the voice of reason every now and then. You know.
With me, yeah, cool. But yeah, like you said, he had so many chances, so many opportunities, but again, it's just frustrating when you see Miguel Almiron play because you're like, he's got all the attributes to be not a world beater, but a fantastic player at the club. But I just want him to be a bit greedy. Like I remember this one opportunity where he did a 1-2 with Isak, and then Isak ended up shooting some tame shot at goal. But I'm thinking it's set up nicely for you, you know, bend in the top bins, like do something with it. And you're just like, oh, Miguel Almiron, same story all the time. And it's like, he's lucky that we had a poor window in terms of not getting a right winger. I'm not saying we had a poor window overall, don't get that twisted. But in terms of getting a right winger, he's lucky that again, you was about to jump in there, weren't you? But he's lucky that we didn't sign a right winger because otherwise he would have been out of this team and he would have been master splinter. So, again, for me, Almiron better than your man Fraser, but at the same
Master
time...
Splinter, what's his turtles?
Yeah, Master Splinter sitting on the bench, wasn't he? You like that one, didn't you? But
yes, Master. No, I think that's Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that one. But yeah, Almiron, again, 6.5, and that's being generous.
It's an interesting one because there's a lot of people in the comments. I'm just reading them now about Miggy, and it is he does press a lot, he does run a lot, as Liam's mentioned several times. But you judge in that position, same as Fraser, you judge in that position on goals and assists. And
I don't think he had a bad game.
I don't think he had a bad game. I just think he could have had a lot more. He could have had an assist. He could have had a goal today. He doesn't trust himself on his right foot. I'll be going in training if I was Eddie Howe going.
I don't even think he trusts himself with his left foot.
For the first time today, though, he did actually try with his right foot and got blocked. It's the first time.
Do it more often. It might get a goal.
The first time I've seen it probably since he's been here. He was down the right hand side and he tried to whip it in the first time with his right foot. It got blocked for a corner. Like, Howard, you've got a right foot. Let's use it more often. But I don't think he's had a bad game. I think he's one of the better outfield players.
No, I agree. He was the better out of the three, but at the same time, you've got to be. These are the games here. Again, here. Okay, well, I'm sure I've said this before on this platform as well. These are the games when ASM's not in the team. You grab the scruff of the neck and like, okay, I'm the man today. I'm the guy.
There's an argument today, though, 40. Miggy was the best of the three that we had going forward today.
But it's again, like that opportunity that I talked about, again, shoot from distance. Have a go. Not like, oh, I'm going to pass it, I'm going to do the safe thing and all the rest of it. Pass it. Like, we're trying to walk in the back of the net. No. Be the man today. When ASM's not here and you're probably on... Usually when ASM's dribbling, you're like, okay, cool. It's ASM show today. Cool. Let him take over. But again, ASM's not there. You be the man. You know, grab the scruff of the neck and be the man. This is what I'm looking for Miguel Almiron to do, and he didn't do it today. Yes, he's the better out of three, but again, Ryan Fraser's performance was nothing to talk about. Isak's performance was okay. Obviously, he missed that big opportunity. So again, it's not like a high bar. So for me, saying he's the better out of three, it's not like, oh, they was all.
No, but I'm just when you look at when you're judging the score for scoring the players, you look at Miguel Almiron today and you go, was he probably the best out of the four? With three, I think there's an argument you could say yes. Look, I'll let Lee talk about Isak in a second, but I think that's what you have to look at is going, even though we think he could do better and he has got the potential to improve and get better, assist records and goal records. Like I'm looking at someone's just play. I don't know if this is correct, but if it is correct, it wouldn't surprise me. 1 goal, 2 assists last season. That sums Miguel Almiron up and away. He needs to have 7, 8. He has the capability to do that.
I think that came late on in the season as well.
Exactly. I think he's capable of doing that though. So it is interesting.
He needs to be ruthless. That's what I need to see in Miguel Almiron's game. Like, as soon as we had the talk in pre-season, we're going to sign a right winger, we're getting close. Oh, he steps up his pre-season. He's a world beater. He's scoring against Benfica. He's scoring against obviously Gates.
I think that's still a bit harsh to judge on today, just on one performance today.
No. I'm not judging just by today. I'm judging by. How many debates have we had about Miguel?
No. I know we've had a couple of debates, but if you judge every single game today, he was brilliant against Nottingham Forest. He was okay against Brighton, but I don't think anybody was brilliant against Brighton going forward. Man City, I thought he was brilliant. And then obviously Wolves, I thought he was better than Maxi before Maxi scored last week. But no one will say that because Maxi scored such a good goal. And then obviously the last couple of games, I thought he was good against Liverpool and he was okay today, but he could score more, he could assist more. Lee, I want to get your thoughts on the debut or the home debut rather, of Alexander Isak, the 22-year-old £60 million striker, should have scored in the first half. They had a lovely ball for Joe Willock, which obviously that shot was saved. But did we see anything else of Alexander Isak today?
I think he struggled today. It's fantastic. Midweek we were there at Anfield. Arguably man of the match, wasn't he, last in midweek? But I think he struggled a bit today. I think 2 games in the space of 3 days. I think he will come good. I think he'll score goals. I think he's got great technique about him. That 1-on-1, you just want it to happen a bit quicker because he's running down on goal and he's got about 3-4 seconds to think about where is he going to go. Is he going to round the goalkeeper? Is he going to dink it? Is he going to just slot? And he tries to dink it, and it just stunk of Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy's being criticised for doing that last season. I think of Watford away when I was down there. He should have done better. He's several 1-on-1s.
Just put it in the net.
Yeah.
Just put your foot through it. That's it.
Yeah, or just slot it. Or Palace look at it, I think it's a great save, but it just dinks straight at the goalkeeper. Apart from that, you didn't see much of the ball. Build-up play wasn't great there. Look, I think he struggled today. But, if you're judging him on just today, and that's the crashing outside. Smashing. I think he struggled. I think he's one of the worst outfield players today, and I don't want to criticise him too much, but I've got to be realistic and I think he's on par with one of the worst players today, but that's not necessarily mean that he's going to have a bad season because he's sensational midweek, so maybe you'll get that from him for a little bit of a while. Jekyll and Hyde, good, bad, until he finds a bit of form, but great competition with Callum Wilson, but probably scored my 5.5. I think it was good.
What? Oh my God.
You think it was good?
You on crack. No, but I'm just saying, in terms of your scores, yeah, you put Longstaff on what? Tell me what you scored Longstaff.
I scored Longstaff a 6.5.
And you're saying he's worse than Longstaff?
I think you had a worse performance today, yeah.
Than Longstaff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're on crack. Nah, man. Listen, this guy finished. Lee Lawler finished. No. I'm sorry, but no.
Can I just interrupt? There's been a goal at Villa Park. You'll never believe who scored for Man City.
Let me see.
10 goals for Erling Haaland.
Crazy.
It's not even the middle of September yet, Lee.
Crazy.
Nah, I'm just high on crack, are we? Yeah.
You must be.
That's actually ridiculous.
Johnny, where do you stand on that? Because 40 disagrees. I think you struggled big time. You were there. You were there at Anfield.
Yeah. Everyone in the comment section put Lee is on crack
because Johnny was there at Anfield. We'll both agree he was sensational.
Yeah.
But I think today he was really poor.
Quiet is the word I would use. I wouldn't say really poor. I think
that's a cop-out.
The reason
people used to say that.
No. The reason
Rob Lee had a quiet game. That's been nice. Rob Lee had a poor game.
No, the reason why I would say he was not poor because you've got to remember this is the second game in this team. I think you're
going to have hit and miss with them.
A lot. I can understand playing the through ball low because he's got the pace on the striker, but keepers come off the line so early nowadays. The ball's got to be almost perfect for Isak to get, that little touch and take it away from the goalkeeper, and you've either got an empty net or, the keeper's going to foul you. So it is going to be close, and he should have got it. He got away with it again. Got away with it. He should have been given the opportunity to score 2 goals against Liverpool because he did that run to an absolute perfection, but for some reason VAR had a Liverpool badge on it. I thought he was quiet, but he had a goal and an assist.
He did, but if that was, I know it's a different player, but that was Chris Wood's performance today, we'll all be slating Chris Wood.
Yeah, of course we would. I think
we would because he's the scapegoat.
He is the scapegoat. I've said my piece on Chris Wood for a little while now. I think he gets unfair criticism. Sometimes Sean Longstaff gets unfair criticism, but we've already been around that roundabout a few times today. But first home game, look, there's more to come from. He's 20.
That's
he's
not
22
I'm
as
just
well.
judging him just on today. Overall, we know that he'll come good.
Yeah, he's 22. Look,
sensational midweek, not great today.
No Bruno, no Maxi, no John Joe Shelby as well. So he's going to get, in a sense, he's going to get more opportunities to get more chances.
And that's the exciting thing when Shelby comes back on the side, when Bruno comes back, especially Bruno.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of turning.
Callum Wilson as well. Like if Fordy gets his wish of two up top, which it'd be nice to see the two of them play up top one day.
Hold on. Lee, you're looking at me. Right. I'm looking at you. I know we're both thinking the same line.
I'll leave you to it. What rate did you give him in the end?
5.5.
I thought it was poor.
I think I probably have gone 6. I'm not too disappointed with that.
See, he's only scoring them marginally higher than me, 40. So
not worse than Longstaff.
Let's talk about the substitutes. And the first substitutes, well, there was 2. There was Elliot Anderson and Jacob Murphy. I'm going to go with Elliot Anderson. Breath of fresh air when he comes on that football pitch. But you know what it is, and I've said this in the pre-season game particularly, it's got the arrogance to go, give me the fucking ball. Yeah. Give me the ball. And he linked up well, Joelinton a couple of times, linked up well with Isak as well. He offers a lot more. He's not afraid to take players on. He's won a couple. He's very smart. He knows how to win free kicks as well. I would love to see Elliot Anderson start for Newcastle.
Really?
In the future. But it's finding out where Eddie Howe would place him, because I don't know.
Well, he did for Trippier.
I don't know whether you play him in that 3 in midfield or you play him, in those 3 attacking positions.
He didn't.
He didn't. He had. There was no you asked me the question.
You'll have the Palace League Cup fixture at Shine.
No, I think he'll start a Premier League game before that, because there's so many games, especially in October. There's so many games.
Then again,
8 games in October.
Cup, especially Bruno will be back shortly.
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. I do think he will be given an opportunity. It's, do you play him on the left of the 3 going forward? Do you play him on the right? Do you play him in midfield? I think Eddie Howe's is trying to work out where he thinks he should play him.
You start him before you start Longstaff next. I'm sorry, but you do. Yeah. You do. I don't care about your 6, 8, and this ain't maths class, man. Just start him somewhere.
We'll see. We'll see what Eddie Howe does. I've got full confidence in Eddie Howe. But I'm going to give him that.
He just does not like Sean Longstaff.
No, I'm going to give Elliot Anderson a 6 out of 10. He only played 20 minutes as well. 40 Jacob Murphy played the same amount of time as him, but
the popcorn out.
The frustration in Newcastle fans, Jacob Murphy's a Newcastle fan, but he's just not good enough for Newcastle.
You're a Newcastle fan, but if you're playing shit, I want you off the pitch as well.
What are you on about? I'm all right. No, but in all seriousness, what does he offer Newcastle?
I don't understand it.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, and again, he doesn't even use that effectively. It's like anytime he comes on, 70th minute, 80th minute, it's always that side, whether I'm in a bar, whether I'm in my own home, whether I'm in the ground. He should have been, he's lucky again to make it through another transfer window that he's not shipped out on loan. I don't know if he's on high wages. I don't know if he's Eddie Howe's secret love child or something like that. I don't know how he's managed to stick at this club again for another transfer window.
Can I ask you a quick question? And I was just going to say, with Isak, obviously we see him in the middle. Would you, in your opinion, Fordy, would you try him out on either the left or the right of an attacking 3? Because obviously we're seeing the options with Murphy in particular and Fraser and to a lesser extent.
Oh, so you mean when Wilson comes back into the side?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, listen, you've got to somehow, and this is what I was talking about earlier, you've got to somehow make room for all of these quality players that we have. Like, it doesn't have to always necessarily be like for like. It doesn't have to always necessarily be, okay, if Wilson's injured, Isak plays. What happens when we have this nice situation, when we have Isak ready to play, we've got Wilson ready to play, we've got Bruno ready to play, we've got Shelby ready to play. We need to play all of our effective players in the same team. We don't have to be rigid and stick to the same formation that we play all the time because it gets boring. We have no plan B. So yes, I do agree. Play Isak one side, Edison one side, and Wilson through the middle. All be able to rotate. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to be unpredictable because otherwise it gets boring and teams can suss us out, especially at home. So yeah, Jacob Murphy should not be anywhere near our team. But when it comes to January, we should ship him out on loan. Yeah. Elliot Anderson should be playing ahead of him. That's it. Yeah. Easy, simple as. Because again, I don't want to keep feeling this feeling. It gets the 70th minute, we're chasing a goal, we're chasing a winner, whatever, and he comes onto the side because he offers nothing. I think
again, it comes back to the fact that we are missing 3 or 4 really, really key players for Newcastle United right now. And you put those 3 or 4 players into that first 11. You take 3 or 4 players out. Does Jacob Murphy make that substitute bench? And that's a question that Eddie Howe will have to answer.
What did you score him though? Because I didn't.
Yeah, Jacob.
Oh, sorry. Well, if I'm going by what do you score?
I scored Anderson 6. I didn't long.
You did score Anderson, did you?
I scored Anderson a 6.
A 6?
Yeah. He was only on 20. He was only on 20 minutes.
I'm giving my amount of 5.
See, I'm surprised you've scored Anderson a 6. I thought he was better than a 6.
I'm giving him a 5.
I think that's fair.
You're giving Anderson a 5.
No. I'm not. I'm not going to be on heroin. I'm going to say I'm not smoking the same thing you're smoking.
Get that fucking speed out.
I think again. I'd like to have seen Elliot Anderson play 60 minutes. There was an argument for me today. You start Elliot Anderson today because I thought he was bright when he came on against Liverpool, and the fact that Joe Willock's played every single game. I think he's only came off against Tranmere. That shows that he's played a lot of minutes so far early on in the season. There was an argument today, but maybe he has an idea in his mind already when he'll play.
I'll give him a 5 then. In fact, I might agree with Alex in the comment section about Alex giving him a 1. I might have to go over the 1.
We'll see.
I'll give him a 5.
Lee, Dan Burn was on in the 81st minute.
Justice for Dan Burn.
Is there an argument that just give him non-applicable? I thought he was fine when he came on. I don't think it makes a massive difference if we mark him or not.
I came on at left back, didn't he? Maybe it's just maybe height difference, or give Matty Target a bit of a breather. Obviously, he's just come back from injury. I don't think you could give him a non-applicable, or you can give him a 6. I don't think he did anything wrong, to be honest. I don't think he was tested. So yeah, I'll score him a 6 out of
10. Chris Wood came on with like a couple of minutes to go, so I'll get non-applicable for Chris Wood. Decision. Exactly. Well, I'm sure you'll hear in the last word a little bit of debate, heated debate. I know everyone knows that title on YouTube, don't they? Heated debate, must watch, must see. So that's a little teaser for you. Let's talk about Eddie Howe's rating now. Lee, I'm going to let you start off with Eddie Howe. You obviously, without giving too much away in the last word, you'd like him to change things a little bit earlier, but considering the fact that we played 3 games in 6 days, do you think more changes should have been made going into this game?
I was a little bit intrigued, not surprised, intrigued who's going to start at centre-back, because I still don't think that we've got a first choice. I think it's 2 out of 3, and I still don't think we're anywhere nearer to that yet. Performance-wise, the heart was there, the determination was there, the endeavour was there. Just the final piece just wasn't there, and I think Isak suffered a little bit. I would have liked to see him have another body up top. That's my only criticism I've got of Eddie Howe today, because I think the lads struggled a little bit. His home debut, that save, probably played on his mind, and I generally think Palace were there for the take of the day. I think it's 2 points massively dropped. Stick 2 up top, be a little bit brave, take a midfielder off, take a defender off. You've got 3 centre-backs, you play wing-backs. Go for it. I think that was an opportunity missed by Eddie Howe today. Eddie Howe's a fantastic manager. I'll praise him, but I'll also be brave enough to criticise him when he should have been criticised. That's the only slight negative. I know the personnel isn't great, but even if Dylan Stevenson's sitting on the bench, Johnny, I'm asking Dylan Stevenson to be chucked on for the last 10 minutes as well. Put a striker up top, or even Joelinton, put him up top, bring someone else in midfield, go 2 up top, go for the 3 points, because we just simply weren't finishing the chances off. So 2 points drop for me.
What would you rate him?
6 out of 10.
Foley, I think the one thing I want to discuss about Eddie Howe was the tactical performance between him against Vieira. And what I mean by that is that did his game plan work? Forget about selection. We'll talk about that towards the end of when you're talking about Eddie Howe. But tactically, did he have his game plan spot on? Was it just the fact that we've mentioned we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net? Could Eddie Howe have done anything more going into the game?
Yeah, I think he could have done a couple more things going into the game. And again, if you're pairing off Howe versus Vieira, I think Vieira won that in terms of Vieira got what he wanted from the game against Howe, what he got from the game. Vieira and Crystal Palace clearly came for a point. They set up very robust as part of the bus pretty much, and again tried to hit us on the counter with their fast players, Zaha, Eze, and all the rest of it. And then Howe, obviously, we're the home team, so again we should be on the front foot, and we were, but at the same time, it wasn't working for 70, 80 minutes. Maybe he might have made the changes too late. Again, going back to the Longstaff decision, I think he was the poor out of the 3, so again maybe pull him a bit earlier. Throw on Elliot Anderson, who plays with just so much bravado. He doesn't care. I don't care that I'm playing against grown men and all the rest of it. I might be a young boy to you lot, but at the same time, he doesn't play with that fear. I love that.
You're the oldest, yeah.
Say it again?
You're the oldest, yeah.
I might be the oldest here. I don't know what's got to do with this.
He might be the oldest, but I think I'll probably look the oldest out of us 3.
But yeah, going out with Howe, that's look, defensively, obviously, we got it right. We're solid. Didn't really look like we was going to concede at any time. But again, just defensively, just want to try a little bit more. I felt it was a bit too cautious, man. Just go from it. These are the games where we look to. These are the games should be our bread and butter, I think, and we go for it.
Do you think offensively today, what did Eddie Howe learn from Isak? Because obviously it's only his second game, his first home game of the season. What do you think he learned from Isak's performance today? Because obviously, again, he's 22. It's a big stage for him. Yeah,
I like the fact that he didn't go hiding. Players could have gone hiding after that miss, and he didn't. He still showed for the ball. He still did those runs in behind. He still, was on the channels and all the rest of it. So I like the fact that he was about and put himself about, should I say. I still think he needs that more support, and I think when ASM comes into the team, he he doesn't make it all about Isak. Obviously, he's the main man at the moment. We spend a ton of money on him, but when ASM comes on the team, it's good that he can then relieve some of the ball onto ASM, and ASM will be the start of the show. He loves that. He relishes in that. So I think we've learned quite a bit more in this game than the Liverpool game.
What would you rate him?
I'd give him a 7. I said defensively good, but again, just offensively, we could have just made a couple more changes just to go for the jugular and get these 3 points.
I just about agree with Fordy's mark. I think it was. I think there's an argument you could make a couple of changes, but Crystal Palace are a good team. Like I like Crystal Palace in terms of what they do, especially at Selhurst Park. Obviously, away from home is a little bit different. You know,
it's a shithole, Selhurst Park.
It is. It is like, but
it is a shithole.
Atmosphere though.
Yeah,
and that's down your neck that was for. Fuck me, Croydon's a shithole. Sorry, like.
But I think
it is.
It was. I think. To be honest, I think
that was not some really glamorous place.
I think Newcastle could have had easier games after the way they ended at Anfield. I think Crystal Palace wasn't the most ideal in terms of the opponents we could have had, but in terms of the actual performance, we've all discussed it. We just needed to break that Palace defence down, and in terms of VAR decision, we probably did do that. But look, we need to get more goals, and it just shows that our players that aren't our first choice attacking players possibly aren't good enough. But we've known that for a little while.
We'll just score the referee, Johnny, because I've seen a lot of comments in there.
I thought the referee was
not very happy with the VAR.
No, the referee was poor. Again, I think the occasion for some of these referees is too big in terms of the Premier League. I think we've seen it in the Crystal Palace game. We've seen it in the Liverpool game, obviously. We've seen it in the Manchester City game. So some of these referees aren't big enough and bold enough to make big decisions. And I think the fact that he's had 1 minute and 20 seconds to look at that replay and they still can't make the right decision, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Get proper officials that know what they're doing, because it will cost teams, it'll cost managers jobs.
On VAR.
He's absolutely shite. He was shite when he was referee anyway.
Mitchell.
honestly, but it is what it is. Just about a 7 out of 10 for Eddie Howe today with that 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace. Newcastle don't have a game for another 8 days. They go to West Ham next Sunday. Lee, 40, are you coming along to West Ham next week?
No, I think I'll give that one a pass. I've been there.
Been there, done this.
Yeah. I think I'll save my next Newcastle game for a home ticket
against Bournemouth, which is the week after, before the international. Exactly, before the international break. But it is West Ham next week. Lee, Sam will definitely be there as well. So that'll be really interesting to get the thoughts on Newcastle's next game. Hopefully it's their second win of the season, because it's only 1 win, 1 defeat, and now 5 draws so far this season. If you can give this video a like, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you can subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, again, that would be lovely jubbly. Get in the comments who your man of the match is. I think our man of the match, if we could, any of the back four, actually maybe even Nick Poe might have just edged out getting the man of the match today. So Nick Poe gets our man of the match, especially with that crucial save late on this afternoon. Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV. And from me, Lee, and 40, we'll see you all very soon.